everybody, it's Leanne with Outdoors and Country Living. Thanks for stopping by my country kitchen today. And yes, I'm in the kitchen again. Our garden produce is just pouring in, which is a good thing, but I'm being bombarded still by yellow summer squash. So today I'm going to try my hand at a new recipe, yellow summer squash relish. I've never tried this before, but I am willing to try a lot of new recipes this year, not only because of the abundance of bounty that we're getting from the garden, but I'm trying to up my game on food preservation due to the pandemic issue that we're in and the uncertainty of our current global situation. So it was my goal this year to step up my game. So this is one step in my game. I did start this recipe yesterday, so you're gonna see me finish it today. We've been doing some landscaping around our house for the past few days, so I've been busy otherwise and have had to take a couple days out of the kitchen, which was a nice break and change of pace, but I'm back here today. So we're gonna finish this yellow summer squash relish today. There was a little bit of a prep that I had to do as far as soaking the vegetables in salt so they maintain a little bit of crisp once it's all said and done. But I'm going to show you what step I'm at now. I've combined the squash and onions and peppers, and those have set in the refrigerator overnight underneath some kosher salt. So I've rinsed them, but let me show you the next steps, okay? Come along with me. All right, here in this strainer I have 20 cups of shredded yellow summer squash. I have 4 large bell peppers from the garden and 4 large onions from the garden. Now I used a combination of white and purple onion. You can use whatever you like, but that's what I had, so that's what was used. I've rinsed this twice. You want to make sure you rinse it very well, otherwise you're going to have some really salty relish. So on top of this, I had placed 12 tablespoons of coarse kosher salt. I don't use canning salt, so I use the kosher salt, which is in place of, and that sat overnight in the refrigerator in a bowl, covered bowl. So I've now rinsed this twice, but anyway, I did use my food processor to grate the squash. I wasn't gonna stand here and hand grate 20 cups of squash. So I ran that through the food processor yesterday real quick, which was a lifesaver. And then I just chopped up the bell peppers and the onions fairly small. I don't know if you can see that, but so we're just gonna continue to let this drip in the sink, and I want to bring you over here and mix up the brine for the pickling mixture. In the pickling mixture, I already have in here 8 cups of sugar and 6 cups of vinegar. Now I chose to use apple cider vinegar, but you may use plain white vinegar if that's what you like. We just like the taste of the apple cider vinegar better. And to this, I'm gonna add a couple tablespoons of minced garlic, 2 tablespoons ground mustard, 2 tablespoons turmeric, 2 tablespoons celery seed, 2 tablespoons dill, salt and pepper, a teaspoon of each, and a teaspoon of nutmeg. We're just gonna combine all this together, stir it up really well, and then we're gonna bring this to a boil. Let's take this pot to the stove. Our pickling mixture is now boiling, so I'm gonna turn the heat off and we're gonna add in the vegetables to this mixture and return it to the stove. I've brought the pot over here and set it on this cutting board so I can add in the vegetables. And this is just the squash, peppers, and onion mixture. We'll just stir this in. And then we're gonna put it back on the stove and bring it to a boil again. And then we'll be able to put it in the jars. This relish is like any other normal pickle relish. It's good on hot dogs if you eat those, bratwurst, any kind of sausage. It's good on meatloaf, what I've read. It's good like with pork chops or on the side with any kind of meat dish, really. But it's just a fancier relish. As you can see, I have more squash that I'm gonna make another batch with. Now I did double this recipe. The original was half of what I'm making, but I had so much squash that I thought I ought to double it. If you decrease it by half, it makes 6 pints, and then obviously double is gonna make 12. I don't know about anyone else out there who cans, but I don't like to go to all this trouble and effort just to get 6 pints out of the deal. I'd rather double it or triple it and make more and get more. More for your bang, more for your time. So let's take this back to the stove and bring it to a boil again. We're boiling. Let's pull it off the heat and go pack it in some jars. We're just gonna ladle this into the jars to the bottom of the neck. Packed all the jars with the relish, and here's a bonus. I actually got 13 pints and some to put in the refrigerator so we can try it out. Tom and I did do a taste test. It's rather sweet, which is okay. So next time in the batch that I'm gonna make with the rest of that squash there, I think I'll back off on the sugar by a cup and a half possibly. I don't know, we'll see, but it's really, really good. But anyway, we're gonna wipe the rims off. If you watch the zucchini pickle recipe, it's the same concept. This recipe has sugar in it, so anytime you're dealing with sugar or any other sticky substance, you wanna make sure your jars are nice and clean on the top so your canning seals seal nicely. I'm one of those home cooks that use recipes as a guide. They are not my heart and soul roadmap per se. I like to look at recipes and get ideas and alter them to our preferences and anything that I think would make them a little bit better. Now it's time for lids and rings. These pints are going to be processed in a water bath canner. So I'm just going to get that set up here. Put the rack in here, and I'm going to add some water. I'm going to go ahead and turn my burner on high. I use hot tap water, that way it doesn't take quite as long to come to a boil. We're gonna go ahead and start placing our jars in here. We got room for one more. Go ahead and lower that down and check my water level. Close. So you want it 1 to 2 inches over the jars. So let me get some more water. The water canner is boiling. Now we're gonna set the timer for 10 minutes. Go ahead and set these over here on a towel. Can hear them popping. That's good. Now I have 4 more pints I have to do the same process with. So let me get that going, and then I want to show you how I shred the squash using my food processor, which saves a lot of time. In preparation for my next batch of this summer squash relish, I want to show you how easy it is to use the food processor to shred your squash. I've just chopped these pieces of squash into the appropriate size so they fit down in the chute of my food processor. So let's let her rip. If you don't have a food processor for shredding big batches of things like this, you should invest in one or borrow one from friends or family. I just did 5 cups of squash in no time flat. So I need 3 more of these to do another batch. I'm gonna keep going. But look at that. Perfect. Another 5 cups, no time flat. Are you sweating? Me either. This thing's awesome. Like I said, if you don't have one, I highly recommend you invest in one or borrow one if someone's so gracious enough to let you. But that's how I shred 20 cups of squash in no time flat. Thanks for spending yet another day with me in the kitchen, making some yellow summer squash relish. We're looking forward to trying it, and I hope you are too. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe to our channel because we have a lot more to come. You guys take care, and we'll see you later.